Hi guys, it's William. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make a giant cinnamon roll. Yes, it's going to be decadent, very sugary and full of cinnamon. You are going to love it. If you love the interior of a cinnamon roll with, the most dense and chewy brioche, you will definitely love this giant cinnamon roll. So let's start with the dough. So first of all, I'm going to use some whole milk, to which I'm going to add some water, and I'm going to heat this up in the microwave until it's very, very warm, almost hot. Perfect, so my milk and water are now hot, so I'm going to add some sugar, about a teaspoon or so, and then I'm going to add some instant yeast, and I'm going to mix that up, and then let it rest for about 5 minutes or until the yeast have bubbled up and become very moussey. So it's been 5 minutes, and as you can see, the mixture is quite weird and it's perfect looking for our brioche. So now I can work on the dry ingredients. So first of all, I'm going to use some flour, to which I'm going to add the rest of the sugar and then a pinch of salt. And I'm going to mix it just to dissolve the salt. Now I'm adding a large egg and then some melted butter. And then I can finally add the yeast mixture, and I'm going to knead my dough for about 8 to 10 minutes or until it's very sticky but still elastic to the touch, and you will see how perfect it is. My dough has been kneading for about 8 minutes, and as you can see, it's looking very elastic and perfect looking. I'm going to now let it rest for about 2 hours in a hot room. I'm going to put it in my warm oven, but please with the oven turned off, of course. And I'm going to leave it there until it doubles or almost triples in volume. My dough has tripled in volume and it's looking very puffy. It's perfect. It's been 2 hours exactly. So now I can work it on my floured surface, and then I'm going to stretch it out until I have a rectangular shape using a rolling pin. Great, now I'm going to add my room temperature butter, and I'm going to spread it across the entire sheet of dough. For my cinnamon sugar mixture, I'm going to use, of course, some brown sugar, to which I'm going to add some white sugar and then a heavy tablespoon of cinnamon, because I like my cinnamon rolls very cinnamony, of course. And then I'm going to mix this up and spread it on top of my dough. In order to make our giant cinnamon roll, I'm going to cut some strips. The most important thing here is to make some perfect lines and try to have the same diameter of each strip, and then I'm going to roll them out until I have my giant cinnamon roll in my pan. So as you can see, I'm using a well-greased round pan. It's 25 centimeters, and I've also added some parchment paper just to make sure that nothing sticks. And then I'm going to roll my cinnamon roll using my strips on my prepared pan. As you can see, I'm not going all the way to the sides of the pan. You need to leave some room, just because the dough is going to rise again and be very fat and puffy, and it will definitely reach the sides of the mold. So please make sure to just leave some space there. And now we can let the cinnamon roll rise for about 45 minutes in a warm room, and then we can finally bake it. So as you can see, my cinnamon roll is looking perfect and very big. It's exactly what we wanted. So I'm just going to brush on top of it some melted butter to make sure that it browns evenly when we will bake the cinnamon roll. And then we can bake it in our preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius, that's 350 in Fahrenheit, for about 30 minutes or until it looks very brown and cooked and not elastic and chewy. If your cinnamon rolls tend to be too brown, you can definitely put some aluminum foil on top of it to make sure that it doesn't get too burnt. And then we will let the cinnamon roll cool completely at room temperature. So while my cinnamon roll is cooling, I'm going to make a glaze. You definitely need the glaze when it comes to cinnamon rolls. And I'm going to mix up some cream cheese with some icing sugar and some milk. And I'm also going to add some vanilla extract. And I'm going to mix this until I have a very nice and combined glaze. As you can see, I'm using a piping bag just to make sure that my glaze is looking perfect on my cinnamon roll, but you can definitely do it by hand. Using, for example, a tablespoon, it will be just as good. So as you can see, my cinnamon roll is pretty giant. It's looking decadent and delicious, very moist and chewy and caramelly. It's perfect. So please try this recipe. It's very easy. You don't even need to use a KitchenAid. You can definitely do it by hand. It will just take a bit more time, but that's it. You can find the list of the ingredients in the description box down below, as well as the social media where to follow me, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Snapchat. And I will see you very soon for another amazing recipe. Bye!